Hello, good afternoon, you beautiful, gorgeous people on this Tuesday. Come here. What you doing? Give me a hug, give me kisses, give me sugar. You know that drives a couple people crazy, don't you? So we're not going to stop. That's right, Harriet. That's right, Mark. Simmer down. We give hugs and sugars around here. The good sugar, not your nasty processed sugar. Okay? So we're going to talk about a few things today. How are you doing? Okay, so here's the deal. So tomorrow I hope and pray, and I say this before looking at the weather. Really want to do a farm catch-up video for you. We've got some things coming up, and we've got some gains and not some gains here on the farm. So I'm hoping to film that tomorrow. A lot going on with you guys and the world and everything else. And I'm about to go visit my Nana. And can you see right here? I've got her a key. Look at that flower back there. It's in a little pumpkin vase. So cute. She's gonna love that. So we're headed out to run a few errands real quick. Everything is caught up, cleaned up, fed. I only have about a half a load of laundry in the laundry basket. Mom's like, oh. Mom, you know when you get to that point, you're like, okay, I'm leaving the house now. Might take you till 3 o'clock in the afternoon, especially if you homeschool. I never got caught up with life. I could get up as early or as late as possible, or have as few chores or as many chores, but it always felt like there was something about right at 3 o'clock, and that's kind of where I'm at. And that included a shower too. That's kind of where I'm still at in life, right? Well, I have more chores, so that's probably why. So it's been a wonderful day. I hope you're doing good. I know there's a lot going on, and I want to talk about a few things. So listen, I hope this helps you out. I'm not standing in my pantry, because yesterday I know you were praying for me. I felt it. Your ears were burning and you were like, why am I hearing Patara needs prayer? Y'all feel that? I'm not kidding. We did our final purge. I mean, there's still a lot of things you can clean up or tidy or whatever. I purged through my freezers, my pantry, and folks, when I tell, I'm cleaning and just sort of reorganizing now, which we've been doing this for several weeks. You know, this past year, I told you, so if you're new to the channel, I really slowed down. No, I didn't stop, but I just didn't feel in alignment. I felt like it was more important for me to take some time, starting in the spring and through the summer to now, to purge my house, work on other things, rest my land, go through my you know what I'm saying? Realign my pantry. And that was actually even before July. And if you know anything about July, we've been really changing the way that we have structured our diet. Not that we're dieting, but our diet. And the amount of exercise on top of what we do in terms of work or farm work. We're weightlifting. Our goal is 5 times a week. And I'm working with a little bit of high HIIT. HIIT. James always is like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I gotta go do my HIIT. So anyway, things like that. So we're making a point to go to the gym. You don't have to go work out at a gym. You do what works best for you, but we do. So a little local gym. It's not expensive, and we're having the best time. So here's what I'm saying. So yesterday was like the day, man. I jumped out of that bed and I was like, this is it. And I finished everything up. So now we're in, well, actually, that's not true. It was more late Sunday into Monday. It took that much time. So now I'm cleaning, reassessing, reorganizing, and you want to know, what am I focusing on? What have I thrown away? Well, I found a few little nook and crannies. And I don't know if I'm going to call this nook and cranny or if I'm going to focus on the protein aspect, but I'm going to hit both in this video. I did have some items in my pantry that were more heavily processed. Some of them had kind of started to go bad. I mean, they really did. Because I haven't focused on finishing them up or working on them to trade them out over the past 3 to 6 months. I just haven't. And I'm not showing you these things or talking about these things to make you feel bad about what's in your pantry. You have to do what works for you. You have to do your homework, right? And I think moderation is important. I think ultimately when we talk about day-to-day living now, in comparison to preparedness, there can be some differences, okay? I mean, I do think you need to try to move into the zone and line up your regular diet with what your preparations are. I do believe that, but there are going to be some exceptions as well. Let's just be honest. I mean, when somebody tells you it might not be a bad idea to have some cigarettes to barter with if something were to go down, I don't think they're trying to tell you to smoke. I don't smoke, but I might have a carton of cigarettes somewhere. I'm just saying. Does that make sense? Do I make sense? I know you make sense. I never make sense. So just want to make sure I'm clear. So, but I found a couple things and I was just like, I think we're going to go ahead and purge those. No, I'm not even, no, we got to get rid of that. And I'm going to rethink it. And I'm not getting into a huge diet issue here, but I want to tell you that I'm really pleased with what all we have done. I do feel that our preparedness has overall worked for us. I'm just talking about our food preps. I'm not talking about medical, we have a well. I'm not talking about training. I'm not talking about anything else. I'm just talking about things that you can grow or you've bought and you've put away. And I'm an advocate for all of that, okay? Canning, freezing, dehydrating, freeze drying, whatever you can do. Getting things on sale, okay? But I do want to say that going through my pantry as hard as I have over the last couple of weeks, and with what we're doing and with how we've changed things, there's been some light bulbs really come on. Okay, and I want you to hear me out on this. This is not a critique of you and what you eat and what you have in your pantry. I just want you to have food for thought, protein for thought. So the majority of my pantry in a lot of ways is already protein. Things that I've canned, things that I have froze, things that are dehydrated or freeze dried, things that I have bought. This is tuna. And I have all kinds of different brands. This is the one I just grabbed right out when I ran out of the kitchen. And by the way, this is the Safe Catch. And I want you to know that I tried the albacore today, and it was good. I'd never found it before. I found it over the weekend. I want to try a can. It's a little more expensive than what you're seeing out there as far as typical brands. It was very good, but I'm going to tell you right now, the yellowfin is better. So just want to drop that in there. So if you go to Costco, our Costco sells these in packs of, I think, 5 or 6. That's where I pick them up. And this is by far, I think it has much better flavor. It has more protein in it as well. I think it's 43 grams for this one. Yeah, 43 for this grams of protein in this one little can versus the albacore, I think, was either 37 or 38. I'm going for this, okay? Just FYI. But I also, over many years, have been showing you, working with, cooking with, talking about buying Keystone. Now, don't get confused with, there's 2 Keystones. Everybody's like, that's that crazy company. No. This is a private company in Ohio. It's not the large branch that you're trying to connect with all the conspiracies. No. It is different, okay? And I have talked with and worked with a little bit with the president of the company. I'm not paid or sponsored by them or anything, but really nice people. So, I've made a point over recent years to pick up Keystone, and they make ground beef, turkey, whole shredded beef, chicken, pork, and turkey. And they have this size, and then they have a half can. Is this the 4? No, this is the 28. The other one I think is the 14.5. Don't quote me, but I'm pretty close. So, I have these things. So as I'm purging and I'm going through, I'm like, okay, I've got a lot of good protein here. Man, we've been doing something right. I'm going somewhere with this. And then, of course, I have fruits and vegetables. I do have some, I have flour, I have sugar, I have salt, and I have pepper and some spices. So everybody's like, are you throwing away all of your sugar? Not one bit. That's an important staple. I mean, I may not go hog wild with it, but you can use it for certain things. You can also barter with it. So no, the things other than the sugar that I really got rid of in terms of being what you would consider processed is like any box meals or brownies or stuffing or crackers. I didn't have an overabundance of that because that's often rotated, but I did have some. At this current moment, I don't have any of that. I'm reassessing that right now. But you know, I've thought about it and I was like, you're not eating that. So why do you feel like you need that? If you have, in my personal opinion, and I'm going somewhere with this, if I have my proteins, lots of it and a variety of it, then freeze-dried eggs, chickens, eggs. I also have lots of beans. So there's a lot of protein there. Obviously, I have the capability of a lot of raw milk potential. So there's that. But I mean, realistically, if you're in a doomsday scenario, I don't know if you're really going to be fixated on going out and milking a goat. I just don't know. So it depends upon what scenario you're talking about. I think a lot of people have fantasies about things that aren't real, and it doesn't apply. But so I just try to just go with the best that I can. But I want to let you know that we were overall on the right track. Good proteins, some carbs, some complex carbs, a mix of fruit, vegetables, berries. Obviously, we have chickens, we have eggs. So, I mean, you know, there's different things we can talk about here, but the more that we have gone into our pantry and the more we're weightlifting and the more that I'm watching my husband just slim down like you've never seen, it's brought us back to what are we doing? And I want to let you know that no matter what I say in this video, somebody is absolutely going to have the opposite to say. First of all, they're going to say how bad it is to eat animal proteins. You need to turn off the video and go put your Lululemon on and go find some yoga and go do it. We ain't up for that. Okay, that's not for you. I love you. I just gave you kind truth. So just go on. It's okay. We do here. I have also seen in recent weeks when I post on Facebook, a little bit on Instagram, and here I'll post meals. I'm shooting for 1 gram of protein for my targeted weight, which is basically around the weight that I'm at right now, which is about 130 pounds. And I want you to hear me out on this. And the reason I'm sharing that with you is because I've seen some very whiny women, and I called you that because I love you and you need to stop. You need to stop. They come on to social media, and I don't know what organization is paying you to say these things or what you've been watching on Twitter, X, or Instagram over and over by these people that are telling you your liver's going to fall out through your somewhat because you ate too much protein today. First of all, let's go back to reality. Listen to me before you lose control. The odds of a human being developing liver failure because of protein, eating too much animal protein. When's the last time you experienced it or know somebody that did? Now, with that, I'll have 30 bots say it's them. Okay, guarantee it. It's going to happen. But in addition to that, I want you to think about that logically. There are cases of that. There are people that have to watch that because they already have a lot of pre-existing problems. Now, I could go rant on that already and say, well, maybe you need to deal with your pre-existing problems and find the root cause of why you have those before you go tell somebody that weighs 130 pounds that they don't need to eat animal protein today. And that's working out 4 and 5 days a week. So what I'm getting at here, now that the Harriets out there are losing their minds, maybe a Mark too, but I am saying, I believe with everything within me, you have a higher chance of getting in a car wreck on your way to the grocery store today or to work tomorrow than developing some type of liver malfunction because you ate an extra can of tuna today. Now, why am I going here with this, which is going to be, oh, that's just so mean. No, it's not mean. It's the truth. I would be more concerned about what people are eating outside of their animal proteins right now. Good, healthy, lean, whole foods and animal proteins. I'm not talking about the Big Macs, okay? So don't confuse that. That's not what I'm talking about. You already knew it, so don't try to claim it. You know. See, everybody tries to, well, I thought, see, she's telling me. No. I did not say go to Wendy's and buy a #1 classic. I said you're leaner, healthier, you're organic, real deal proteins, real scrambled eggs, a real hamburger patty with maybe your 85 or 93 lean, grass fed, a nice omelet today, maybe a little protein powder, if you have to, whatever, as natural as possible. So you mean to tell me the peaches of the masses are going to develop all these liver problems because they're not going to be eating the crap carbs and all the things that the companies are pushing in the boxes today? You're more concerned about them eating an extra steak this week than you are what all else they're eating. Please track what you're eating and realistically add up as best you can how many real, true, honest grams of protein the average American, or you and or the average American, is consuming in a day. Then compare that to the processed foods and the carbs and the sugars and everything else in between, and then come back to us and tell us really how that's adding up. Because if you Google it, you're going to find that the, quote, average healthy person can and would eat about 0.8. That doesn't include weightlifting. So where am I going with this little rant of mine here? There's a reason they don't want you eating all the good, healthy, good old proteins. Think about all of the things that have been under massive attack just in the last 5 years. The processing plants, the farmers, a certain flu that caused how much of a kink? When you listen to people that are truly overall winning with their health, not all of them, I'm not carnivore or keto, so I still mix in a lot of things, and I'm going with things with moderation, and I'm not where I want to be, but I'm working on it, and it's working so far. Feel great. The majority of those that are really, really active, especially if they are walking and or doing some, at least weightlifting pretty good, especially women, at least 3 to 4 times a week, which is what is really being pushed on you right now. They're really telling you to focus on your proteins. Now, some of you might be a vegetarian or a vegan. Okay, whatever. I mean, I don't care what you do. I'm not, and I'm not going to be, because it's like we're just turning into little beasts over here. Can you imagine taking all the Marines and all of the beautiful men in the Army and just having them go hard on a carnivore diet? Clearly that needs to happen. But can you imagine an army that's not really focusing on that? It's going to be very weak now, isn't it? So they're telling you you're going to have liver disease. You're killing the environment because you ate a hamburger today, or you ate a salmon patty today, as I look at my 3 cows sitting right here. Or better yet, raw milk is just absolutely going to send you out into, come on, you know all the narratives. And it has absolutely, as I'm watching my husband, now we are working out. We stopped, processed food, 80 to 90%'s gone. Sugar out the door. Inflammation down, baby. Strength is up. Sleeping better. Everything is better. James is not out here killing it walking. And he's not really strung up on focusing on eating in a calorie deficit. We're just trying to make better whole food, high protein choices. Okay? And he is totally changed. You've seen him, okay? We're in developing muscle like you've never seen. Can you imagine what we would be like as a people just in the United States, since we are such a sick country, if the country just 40%, 50% of the country said, we're going to do this. It's not going to be perfect. Our school children are going to do this. We're going to do this. Obviously, there's some kinks and moderations and some exceptions of things. I get that, okay? I'm not coming up with a full plan here. I'm just saying, do you know what a force we would be? So we have to make things like this extremely expensive, right? We have to make eggs. I mean, whoever thought they'd be spending, you know, some places were spending like, maybe you still are, $13.99 for eggs. I mean, we're down to like, our eggs in this area, they're not organic or anything. Average eggs, carton of eggs is probably somewhere between $2 and $2.50. I mean, so it is much more affordable than you were 6 to 9 months ago. But I mean, it's not 5 years ago either. But so the things that people that are winning, they're eating, they're going for around, some people say 0.8 to 1.2. I just keep it at 1 to shoot for, to keep it simple, stupid. Okay. And that's what I'm focusing on. I focus on those proteins, good, healthy, whole proteins, and I build around it, and I don't worry about it. And it's working, okay? It's working for us. And so imagine if it starts working for you too, if you try it for 90 days. You're not going to believe what you turn into. See, that's what they don't want. So we either have to have a limited supply or you can't afford it. And then now I want you to, so now that I can look and see abs forming, and I have a hamstring now, and my husband is, I think the man's going to have a six-pack at some point, not a washboard, he calls it a wash tub. And I know what we're doing, and then you think about why they're doing what they're doing with proteins, animal proteins in particular, trying to make you feel like you need to go eat a bug or fake stuff, as opposed to what God intended for you to eat. They want you fat. They want you sick. They want you weak. They want you dumb. Because that's how they control you. You do something like this within moderations and things that work for you, and you go hardcore for 90 days. And you come and you've tracked what you're doing, and you've kept up with how you're eating, and you watch yourself start to transform. Come back to me and you do it. You go for it now. I don't mean halfway. And you come back to me in 90 days, and then you tell me whether or not you have as much of a strong position in what I'm saying or not. I bet you everything is sitting on this driveway, which is gravel and a couple of turkeys. You're going to have, it's not going to be just, that makes sense. It's going to be, holy crap. Look what this does. Look at how strong this makes men and our people. And makes women that have felt weak or have hormonal problems, or no matter what stage of life you're in. 20s, 30s, having babies, perimenopause, menopause, post. Ask. So for those of you that are worried about your livers falling out, please use your common sense. Clearly there's always a situation where there's somebody, somewhere, somehow, something. But I have more reservations about people eating fast food 5, 6, 7 times a week, drinking Coke, smoking, drinking alcohol. I mean, they're letting you just do whatever, take whatever drug you want on the street. But we've got a problem with a fillet or a chicken breast today. Think about how absurd this has all got. And again, why? Because we want to convince people that our methods, which are ultimately all about control, are the ultimate way, the only way. In fact, we're going to force it at some point, or we're going to attempt to, maybe, I don't know. We want to make you believe that you're not doing the right things. Remember when you had to eat margarine over butter? Remember? Remember when they told you Snickers was a healthy snack? I remember those commercials as a kid. Healthy break. Don't get me wrong. I'll take a bite of a little Snickers. I'm not saying to not have treats, whatever that is, but you better be careful. I do know that. But I'm just saying, try it. Cater your pantry to it. And you're going to believe exactly what you know to be true. God is right. And they want you in a really, really bad position of stripping everything to make you strong and healthy. Just saying. Tell me what you think. Like, subscribe, and share. Pray, prep, and be peaceful. I'm going to go take care of my Nana today and check on her and take her some presents and stuff. I thought that just looked like her. I was like, that's so cute. Nana needs that. So, tonight we get back. Well, we're going to have a high-protein dinner, and it's going to be delicious. I'll see you then. Like, subscribe, and share. Pray, prep, and be peaceful. Keep prepping. Go look at your pantry and see what you need to change. Okay? I'm not saying to not have things for emergencies. I'm not saying to have moderation, but what I am saying, you better focus on the protein first, any which way you can. And I'll see you on the next video.